This week's DRM Not Included on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. We all know that you get free shipping on millions of products with Amazon Prime, but you get a whole lot more. Like free music with Amazon Prime Music, free TV, movies, and documentaries with Amazon Prime Video, free games, and a free Twitch subscription to support the content creator of your choice with Amazon Prime Gaming, plus a whole lot more. We've got links to all of these features and some of our favorites, plus a 30-day free trial, all by going to f5live.tv/prime. So when it comes to content creation, copyright infringement is a big concern, or should be. There are a number of ways of dealing with it. We talk about it a lot in terms of AI and where copyright infringement comes in there. But there's another place that's really common, and that is including external media in your audio or video. For example, you're watching or listening to this. There was just music a few seconds ago. That music, we own the rights to, and so there's no concerns with our using it in our production. But there are other ways of dealing with music. You can not have any. You can have music that you have written or commissioned. You can have licensed music, which is the route that we go. That can be a little expensive. But depending on what you're doing, it's worth it. And then you can use regular music. Two ways of dealing with that. One, you can deal with the licensing that the platform that you are publishing through provides. That gives up full control to somebody else. Or you can just ignore the law and do whatever you want and wait to get smacked around. For example, I have so far issued 11 DMCA takedown notices just from our CES coverage. So,
for the music or for something else?
For the video from the show that has been illegally downloaded and republished. So,
oh man, we found someone doing something horrible.
Huh?
We found someone doing something absolutely evil and horrible. A new exciting form of AI plagiarism where it scrapes articles from our site like in real time, but then changes the words a little bit using an AI.
Okay.
And it takes almost every article that we've written. Like, that's how bad it is.
Fascinating.
But anyway, and we're trying to get them to stop, but you can imagine it's not easy to reach. If it's a website, it's not easy to reach them.
Yeah. See, and that's the Wild West, do whatever you want kind of a thing. And that is never the thing that I recommend. But I also don't recommend letting someone else be in charge of your licensing. And here's why. This week, the relationship between the Universal Music Group, UMG, and TikTok came to an end. And so what happened is, if you had used any UMG music in one of your TikTok videos, the video showed up as muted. Not the part that had the music in it. So if you just used a short clip from their licensing agreement somewhere in your video, it's a 90-second video and you used 5 seconds of a Taylor Swift song, all 90 seconds are gone. No audio. Bye-bye. Which is a little different than how like Meta deals with audio violations. They will just mute the section that's in violation. That's not how TikTok did it. They just whoop, whole video, no sound. And for a platform that thrives on dance and lip sync videos, muted videos not great, right? And so that is building your brand on somebody else's land. I have long talked in the creator space about why it's a bad idea, whether it be, platforms or whatever. There's a reason. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, there's a reason why at the top of the episode, if you're not watching live, we tell you to go to PLUGHITZlive.com/subscribe. Why? Because we own that. We can move it somewhere else, to another host, whatever, and your experience won't be affected. But I don't suspect that YouTube is going to disappear or, terminate us because we don't talk about things that they won't like. But if they did, if we built our brand over there, we're entirely at their mercy. We've seen podcast website hosts disappear overnight. Building your brand on somebody else's land is always a recipe for disaster, and that is exactly what happened here. People relied on a relationship that they didn't have any control over, and millions of videos went silent overnight.
So what I don't understand is, how did they have this license in the first place?
So it was an agreement between TikTok and UMG that music could be used in, and I don't think it's the entire UMG catalog, but I can tell you it was, Taylor Swift and the Beatles, so it wasn't a small, it wasn't the no names on the UMG list, right? People on TikTok, that's a mint, TikTok, could use the music through the platform, with licensing. YouTube has a similar thing. There is licensed music through YouTube that you can use, and so long as you use it on YouTube, the licensing is, I think, perpetual. I think at least on YouTube, it's guaranteed to be a perpetual license. If things change with, MacLeod or whatever his name is, Kevin MacLeod. If a relationship with him were to change, stuff that's already out there won't be affected, but new stuff will be. That's not what happened here. So they had an agreement. People could use it. There was some royalty structure. Outside of my knowledge, these things exist across all the platforms, but UMG didn't want to work with TikTok anymore.
That's also the problem with licensing, right? Because a lot of times with licensing, these things are also surprisingly in the, earlier centuries or whatever, because we were talking before about caching and how the internet's supposed to be forever, but there's a lot of people who think of it as, if I see your article from 20 years ago, you're showing it to me now, and I expect certain things. And I know that I hope that they have changed this, but there used to be some of these photo companies used to have things where, you could use this photo for 6 months. What do you mean? I'm going to go and delete an article from 6 months ago?
Yep.
A year ago? I
had a thing. We did an interview a number of years ago with Jason Paul something. He was doing the Zelda Symphony, the Legend of Zelda Symphony. No, it wasn't that one. It was Rewind or Reverb or something. It was another one of his music symphonies. We were told you can record the performance. However, you only have the license to it for 2 weeks. Well, then what good is that?
Right. What good is that? Exactly. I mean, it's all too complicated. In these respect, by the way, I think YouTube now has an AI music generator on it, so
Yeah.
you can get AI music.
I was I was on a focus group for that before it was announced, and I quoted you in the focus group. I felt
Oh, okay.
I felt so bad for the poor guy that was running the focus group because he was not prepared for me.
Right. I mean, the thing is, I almost but don't feel sorry for the I almost but don't see the use case of that. Like, no, I see the use case. I almost, like, it music is quite expensive, and like, if you need like background music for things, it can be pricey, and I can see why people would want a solution that's cheap or free, and doesn't have somebody coming after them in the future. So
Yeah, for sure. My recommendation, motionarray.com. We've been using them
but
for
uh,
years. Um, I have my license document. No problem. Now, for some reason, every episode I have to re-upload the license document to YouTube for your new music, but whatever.
yeah, I mean, it's but it's messed up. I'm trying to remember the name of the. Did I send you this? There's an AI music service that will actually will produce songs for you that have, like, that you will they'll either create the lyrics, or you can feed them the lyrics, and it has like an AI singer in it, and
Uh-huh.
it's actually pretty good quality.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it did make me think that, like, I came up. Did I tell you I came up with a Tom's Hardware theme song?
I
So
mean, I mean, you sent me a lot of music at one point.
uh,
There
yeah,
was
yeah. So, okay, yes. So maybe that was right. So I actually finally finished the theme song, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
and I pretty much wrote all the lyrics, but, like, I had taken one thing that they gave me, and I kind of wrote a whole bunch of lyrics around it. And then I realized, like, if I were to actually hire a professional musician to, like, write a song, to perform a song like this, oh man, it would be thousands, right? But
Yeah.
and no one at my job is going to pay even $50 for that. But, you know, because they don't see the value of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But you know, it is the kind of thing that I would totally. I'm trying to see if I can find it here. Oh, Suno, that's what it is.
Suno. Yeah.
Suno AI.
I
Suno
liked
AI.
Benchmark Inferno. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I have the one that we have. The working one I have now is called Overclocked Knowledge.
Okay.
Uh, And the problem is, I have to either get the expanded one where I can do more than like 40-second clips at a time, or
Uh-huh.
I have to have enough credits that I can stitch together like
Right.
8 or 10 40-second clips. Uh, but I'm telling you, anyway, point being, uh, music is expensive, music is difficult, and licenses expire, so it is really difficult. It is really
Yeah.
difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it is. But the trade-off is if you let somebody else be in charge of it, there's always the possibility that it just disappears. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course, hit the notification bell because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.